Yes. Now discuss about the radial nerve. Here are three diagrams. This is anterior view, this is posterior view, this is posterior view of a right upper limb. You can see this is right upper limb, anterior view. Here is this is posterior view, this is posterior view of the right upper limb. In this diagram, you can see this is scapula, this is humerus. Here is lateral intramuscular septum, here is medial intramuscular septum. Here is long head of the triceps, here is teres major, this is teres minor. Here is quadrangular space, this is upper triangular space, this is lower triangular space. This is lower triangular space. This is anterior view. Here is posterior view. Here is humerus. This is humerus. This is shaft. Here is spiral groove or radial groove. Here is lower triangular space. This is lower triangular space, and here is attachment of or origin of the lateral head of triceps. Here is origin of the medial head of triceps. This is origin of long head of triceps. This is long head. This is lateral head. This is medial head of triceps. Here is anconeus muscle attached here. And here is this is supinator, and this is interosseous membrane. This is supinator muscle. Here is interosseous membrane. Here is extensor retinaculum. In this diagram, in the anterior view, interosseous membrane, this is supinator muscle. This is supinator muscle. This supinator muscle has two layers, superficial and deep layer. Superficial is fibrous layer, and uppermost part of superficial layer, this muscle is supinator. This muscle is supinator, and its superficial part, it has superficial part and deep part. Uppermost part of the superficial part, which is fibrous, it forms arcade of Frost or supinator arch. It forms supinator arch. This uppermost part forms supinator arch. This is clinically very important. It may compress the radial nerve. Its branch, that is posterior interosseous branch. So it is clinically important. So we'll discuss later. So in this diagram, you have seen lateral intramuscular system, medial. This is supinator, interosseous membrane. Now we'll discuss about the course and relation of the radial nerve. Here is ventral rami of C5, C6, C7, C8, and this is T1. C5 and 6 form upper trunk. This is middle trunk. This is lower trunk, and all three trunk divides a posterior division, and posterior division of all three join to form posterior card. This is posterior card, and here ventral division of upper and middle trunk form lateral card, and this is ventral division of lower trunk form medial card. So in this diagram, this is posterior card. Posterior card gives 5 branches. One branch is axillary, other are upper subscapular, lower subscapular, thoracodorsal, and it continues as this continue as this is radial nerve. This is radial nerve. This continue as radial nerve. This portion is in axilla. So in axilla, this radial nerve gives 3 branches. One branch it gives to this. This is long head of triceps. So here it gives one branch, that is long head of triceps. If you make diagram here, it gives branch to long head of triceps. It gives branch to long head of triceps. It gives another branch. It gives branch to medial head of the triceps. In this diagram, medial head of triceps lies on posterior aspect. This is posterior aspect. So here in this diagram you can see this is medial head of triceps. This. So in the axilla, it gives two muscular branch. One branch is branch to long head of triceps. This is long head of triceps, and another branch is nerve to medial head of triceps. Medial head of triceps. And there is one cutaneous branch, that is posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. It gives posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. This is posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. Here, this area, this is area of the posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. This is posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. Now, it reaches in after the lower triangular space, it reaches into a spiral groove or radial groove. In radial groove, it gives four branches. It gives branch to, here is in radial groove, this is radial groove. Here it gives branch to lateral head of triceps. It gives branch to nerve to anconeus. This is nerve to anconeus. This is anconeus muscle. This nerve to anconeus. This nerve to anconeus gives supply to the medial head of triceps. So here it gives two branch. Nerve to lateral head, nerve to anconeus, and nerve to anconeus gives branch to medial head. And here it also gives branch to this joint. These are two muscular branches, and there are two cutaneous branches. One cutaneous branch is lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm. Lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm. Here is lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm. This area is area of lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm. Lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm. This is posterior cutaneous nerve of arm. And another branch, that is another cutaneous branch which runs like this. This branch is this branch here. So it gives supply to posterior aspect of the forearm. This is posterior cutaneous nerve of forearm. This is posterior cutaneous nerve of forearm. So in radial groove, the radial nerve gives two muscular branches, one for this, and two cutaneous branch. That is lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm and posterior cutaneous nerve of forearm. Now, after giving these branches, it leaves the spiral groove by piercing here, by piercing lateral intermuscular septum, and it comes into anterior compartment of arm. So here, in anterior compartment of arm, it gives supply to brachioradialis muscle. It gives branch to brachioradialis muscle. Here is brachioradialis muscle. It gives branch to brachioradialis muscle. It gives branch to brachialis muscle. Here is brachialis muscle. This is brachialis muscle. So it gives branch to brachialis muscle and brachioradialis muscle. This is brachialis. After giving branch to these muscles, and it passes between these two muscles, brachioradialis lateralis and brachialis medialis. It gives branch to these two muscles, and then it gives another branch to extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. Here is extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. So it gives branch to extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. After giving branch to extensor carpi radialis longus, it reaches just in front of this lateral epicondyle, or you can say it reaches into the cubital fossa. Here is cubital fossa. In the cubital fossa, or just in front of the lateral epicondyle, it divides and gives two branches. One is superficial branch and there is deep branch. This is superficial branch which runs along the brachioradialis and about 10 cm proximal to this wrist joint. It turns backward. Here it turns backward like this, and it passes over the roof of, here is the roof of anatomical snub box. It passes through the roof of anatomical snub box. Here is the roof of anatomical snub box, and it divides into 3 or 4 branches, and it gives supply to lateral 3.5 digits, except skip over the Turner phalanx, and lateral 2/3 of the dorsum of the hand. So this area from here to here is supplied by this superficial branch. This is superficial branch. Now deep branch. This deep branch gives supply to extensor carpi radialis brevis. It gives branch to extensor carpi radialis brevis branch, and after giving branch to extensor carpi radialis brevis, it passes through the supinator muscle between the superficial and deep part. It passes through this supinator muscle, and now after passing through this supinator muscle here, it become posterior interosseous nerve. Here is posterior interosseous nerve. This posterior interosseous nerve gives branch to extensor digitorum. It gives branch to extensor digiti minimi. It gives branch to extensor carpi ulnaris. It gives branch to abductor pollicis longus. It gives branch to extensor pollicis brevis. It gives branch to extensor pollicis longus. It gives branch to extensor indicis. So these muscles are supplied by this posterior interosseous nerve. This is posterior interosseous nerve. After giving these branches, it passes under the extensor retinaculum, and here it ends into pseudoganglion, and here it gives supply to wrist joint and joint, carpal joint and carpometacarpal joint. So this is all about the radial nerve. Now discuss about the applied anatomy of the radial nerve. Here you have seen the course and relation of the radial nerve. Now here the radial nerve is present in axilla. In axilla, it may compressed in case of crutch users, that is known as crutch palsy. In case of crutch palsy, this nerve is compressed here, and what will be the effect of the compression? There is a typical characteristic feature of this radial nerve palsy is wrist drop. This is wrist drop. Patient cannot extend at the wrist joint, and there is also patient cannot extend at the elbow joint. There is loss of extension at elbow joint, and there is loss of extension at metacarpophalangeal joint, this joint. And there is also sensory loss over the supplied area. There is sensory loss. This is effect of crutch palsy. Now, another condition here in radial groove, if nerve is compressed here, either due to fracture or in case of Saturday night palsy or sleeping palsy, if nerve is compressed here, then what happens? Then again there is wrist drop. Here is patient cannot extend that metacarpophalangeal joint, but here elbow joint, the extension is not very much affected. Why? Because the extension of this elbow joint are supplied by branch of the radial nerve which arise earlier than spinal groove. These are the branch to long head of triceps and branch to medial head of triceps. So here at the elbow joint, extension is not very much affected. Another condition here, nerve may compress here by the arcade of Froese, or in case of hypertrophy of supinator, here it passes between superficial and deep layer of supinator. So here it may be compressed in case of hypertrophy of supinator. That condition is known as posterior introosseous nerve syndrome. In this condition, these muscles become paralyzed. So there is loss of extension at metacarpophalangeal joint. This condition is here known as finger drop. And here this elbow joint is not very much affected because here extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis arise. Nerve to extensor carpi radialis longus and nerve to extensor carpi radialis brevis arise earlier than this supinator, just proximal to supinator muscle. So this muscle become intact. So wrist joint is affected but not very much affected. Here is typical presentation is finger drop. Patient cannot extend at metacarpophalangeal joint. So this is all about the radial nerve palsy.